And Cameron, this goes back to the fact that technically the Crown owns all the sort of seashore and the foreshore and so on, where a lot of these wind farms are being planned for.
Yes, exactly. The Crown Estate is a big ancient portfolio, really, of lands and property owned by the reigning sovereign. But that doesn't mean that King Charles has kind of private ownership of this. It passes on with the sovereign. And the profits made from this portfolio, the king surrenders back to the Treasury.
And then gets the sovereign grant as a payoff, effectively.
Exactly. So a percentage of the profit goes from the Treasury back to the king. The sovereign grants to fund his official duties. So things like travel, upkeep of royal palaces, staff salaries, which is not cheap. It's millions of pounds a year. So the story today is basically the Crown Estate has announced this new project, wind farm project, offshore wind farm project, enough to power 7 million homes, £1 billion deal. And what it's done is created this windfall, this big kind of lump sum of profits. And what the king is saying, and under the current rules, that big lump sum of profit would mean that the sovereign grant would go up. But what the king is saying, he has asked the Keeper of the Privy Purse, he's a trustee of the sovereign grant, to ask the Prime Minister and the Chancellor to effectively not make the sovereign grant payments go up, so that money, that windfall, will be back into the public purse.
And the phrase being used, for the wider public good.
Yes.
So who then decides where the money go and what could it actually do? You know, this is a huge sum, isn't it?
Well, it is a huge sum. It reportedly is expected to be millions of pounds. We don't have an exact figure to how much is going back to the Treasury, but that's up to government. It's very much up to government. It's up to the Prime Minister. It's up to the Chancellor
so
where
the king
that money
would not
will go.
be able to decide where it should be going?
No, absolutely not. The king remains very much impartial. He has expressed an interest and he is concerned for the rising cost of living for many families across Great Britain. He referred to it in his first Christmas broadcast this year. And I think this is yet another sign that the king very much wants to help the people of Great Britain in any way he can.
And I think I'm right in saying he's made private donations to food banks and things as well. He's literally put his own hand in the royal pocket.
Yes, he has. It's understood he did do that over Christmas. It's also understood that he put money from his own private income. He gave grants to every staff member to help with their heating bills over the Christmas period. I think the king's very much aware that him, as the Windsor family, has many lands and properties. He also has the Duchy of Lancaster, which is another big portfolio of property and lands, which provides him and his family with his private income. So this extra couple of £1 million really doesn't mean much to him, and therefore he wants to give it back to the people. But